Spring is here, and the deals are hotter than ever at Shack Shop. Turn heads with stunning bikinis, now on sale. Explore the deep with cutting-edge underwater drones. Gear up for adventure with durable tents for every trip. Ride into spring with unbeatable deals on bikes. Fresh styles, women's fashion, and must-have looks, all discounted. Don't miss the Shack Shop Spring Fling Sale. These prices won't last. Shop now and make this spring unforgettable, only at Shack Shop.
Ciara Miller opens up on Amanda Batula and West Wilson's shocking romance, calling it a mental maze of loyalty, love, and betrayal. In the ever-evolving world of reality television, where friendships blur into storylines and personal lives unfold under relentless public scrutiny, few situations have struck as deeply as the emotional fallout surrounding Ciara Miller, Amanda Batula, and West Wilson. What initially appeared to be just another unexpected romantic twist has since unraveled into something far more layered, an emotionally charged situation involving trust, blurred boundaries, and fractured friendships. Now, Miller is finally speaking candidly, offering a raw and introspective look into what she describes as a deeply disorienting experience. A romance that changed everything. For fans of Summer House, the dynamic between cast members has always been central to the show's appeal. But even longtime viewers weren't prepared for the revelation that Batula and Wilson had developed a romantic connection, particularly given Miller's past relationship with Wilson and her close friendship with Batula. Miller didn't hold back when describing her reaction. Rather than framing it as simple heartbreak or jealousy, she portrayed the situation as something far more psychologically complex, a mind-bending experience that left her questioning not just relationships, but her own perception of loyalty and trust. According to Miller, the shock wasn't solely about the romance itself. It was about who it involved. Why Amanda's role cut deeper. While Wilson's involvement was painful, Miller made it clear that her sense of betrayal leaned more heavily toward Batula. The reasoning, she explained, comes down to expectations. In her view, romantic partners, especially former ones, can be unpredictable. Feelings shift, boundaries blur, and history complicates everything. But friendships, particularly those built over years and reinforced through shared experiences, carry a different kind of emotional weight. Miller described Batula as someone she once considered firmly within her inner circle. Their bond, she suggested, extended beyond casual co-star camaraderie. It was built on mutual support, advocacy, and a sense of sisterhood that felt genuine, at least at the time. She reflected on moments when she stood up for Batula, including times she challenged Batula's now estranged husband, Kyle Cook, in order to defend her friend. Those instances, in Miller's eyes, symbolized loyalty, something she believed would be reciprocated. Instead, the situation left her feeling dismissed in a way she struggled to articulate. A guy's a guy, her perspective on West Wilson. When discussing Wilson, Miller's tone shifted noticeably. There was disappointment, but also a level of resignation. She acknowledged that her relationship with Wilson, which began in 2023, had never fully settled into a clean break. Like many former couples, they had experienced moments of reconnection, what she described as spinning the block. These intermittent interactions created a gray area, one where emotional ties lingered even without a formal relationship. From Miller's perspective, that ambiguity left room for complexity, but not necessarily for betrayal on the same level she felt from Batula. Her outlook on Wilson seemed grounded in a broader, somewhat cynical understanding of dating dynamics. She implied that unpredictability is almost expected in romantic contexts, making his actions disappointing but not entirely shocking. The timeline that fueled the fallout. Part of what intensified the situation was the timing. According to Miller, she and Wilson were still navigating their post-relationship dynamic when news of his involvement with Batula surfaced. This overlap created a sense of emotional whiplash. What might have otherwise been a clean break instead became a tangled web of unresolved feelings and new developments. Reports indicate that Miller first became aware of the relationship through a deeply personal and unexpected discovery, an intimate video involving Batula and Wilson. The nature of that revelation added another layer of discomfort, transforming what could have been a private matter into something far more jarring. Shortly after, Batula and Wilson publicly confirmed their connection, releasing a joint statement that attempted to frame their relationship in a measured, intentional light. But for Miller, the damage had already been done. Friendship, loyalty, and the reality television lens. One of the most striking aspects of Miller's response is how deeply she reflects on the concept of friendship, particularly within the unique environment of reality television. Shows like Summer House thrive on interpersonal drama, but that doesn't mean the emotions involved are any less real.
In fact, the constant presence of cameras can amplify tensions, making betrayals feel even more public and inescapable. Miller hinted at this dual reality, the tension between authentic relationships and the performative aspects of being on television. While viewers may see storylines, cast members experience genuine emotional consequences. Her comments suggest that the situation forced her to reevaluate not just her relationships, but also her understanding of loyalty within a space where personal and professional lives are deeply intertwined. Losing friends, gaining clarity. In reflecting on the aftermath, Miller shared a perspective that many can relate to, even outside the reality television world. The idea that growth often involves letting go of certain relationships. She recalled advice from a friend about entering one's 30s, a time when social circles often shift, sometimes dramatically. According to that perspective, losing connections isn't necessarily a negative outcome. Instead, it can lead to greater clarity about who truly belongs in your life. Miller admitted that this situation has forced her to confront that reality head-on. While she didn't explicitly outline where she stands with Batula now, her comments suggest a significant emotional distance. The sense of trust that once defined their friendship appears to have been fundamentally altered. Preparing for a tense reunion. Despite the emotional toll, Miller confirmed that she will be present for the upcoming Season 10 reunion of Summer House. However, she didn't sugarcoat what that experience might entail. Describing it as mental warfare, she acknowledged the psychological challenge of revisiting such a personal and painful situation in a highly public setting. Reunions are known for bringing unresolved tensions to the surface, often forcing cast members to confront one another directly. For Miller, this will likely mean addressing both Batula and Wilson in front of cameras, and an audience eager for answers. Turning down new opportunities. Interestingly, amid the heightened attention surrounding her personal life, Miller has also been fielding suggestions from fans about her future in reality television. One idea that has gained traction is the possibility of her becoming a lead on The Bachelorette, but Miller quickly shut down that notion with a firm and unequivocal response. Her reaction suggests that, at least for now, she has little interest in diving deeper into televised romance, especially given the emotional complexity she's currently navigating. Social media silence and subtle messages. Before speaking openly, Miller's only public responses came in the form of cryptic social media posts. These messages, centered around themes of loyalty and sisterhood, often glimpses into her emotional state without directly addressing the situation. For fans, these posts served as early signs that something was amiss, but it wasn't until her recent interview that the full scope of her feelings became clear. The bigger picture. At its core, this situation is about more than just a romantic triangle. It's about expectations, boundaries, and the ways in which relationships, both platonic and romantic, can intersect in unexpected and sometimes painful ways. Miller's willingness to speak openly adds depth to a story that could easily be reduced to headlines. Instead of framing it as simple drama, she presents it as a deeply personal experience, one that has challenged her assumptions and forced her to grow. For viewers, it's a reminder that behind every reality television story are real people navigating complex emotions. And as the Summer House reunion approaches, one thing is certain: this story is far from over.